Yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy New Year. This is our second annual Top 10 Games Played list. It's something I want to do every year. This list contains the 10 games that I enjoyed most in the past year. This isn't a list of games that came out in the past year, though. Matter of fact, not a single game on this list was released in the past year. The major criteria for being on this list is that I spent a lot of time playing it in the past 12 months. If a particular game piqued your interest, I have full reviews on this channel of each game that's on this list. Please check it out if you're interested. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. Feel free to hit the like button and subscribe so you can follow along with the content. Alright, let's get into it. Coming in at number 10, we have Surviving the Aftermath. This was really my first time playing a top-down simulation style game like this. The main goal of the game is to build a self-sustaining colony that welcomes survivors while growing and thriving in the current environment and predicament of the world. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic society where extreme weather events take place over time. Just like most other survival games, food, water, and shelter are key to survival. It's your responsibility to make sure that your colonists have everything that they need to survive. At the number 9 spot, we have the Resident Evil 3 remake. RE3 is underrated to me. It's probably the least talked about current gen Resident Evil game, and I do think people sleep on it. You play as Jill Valentine here, and Resident Evil 3 also introduced the infamous villain Nemesis into the series. He is the star of the show here. Most of the game is Jill versus Nemesis, with him chasing her around and them having some pretty dope fights. To me, it's a pretty good Resident Evil game. It's a little short, and you can complete the story in about 6 to 8 gameplay hours, but I definitely recommend playing it if you haven't. Alright, coming in at number 8, we have Chernobylite. This is the most recent game that I played on this list. I really enjoyed Chernobylite. It's a different twist on survival games. Here you recruit a team, and your allies are really important. The game is focused on day-to-day actions, and your decision making also plays a huge part in your overall experience in the game. You can play Chernobylite as a stealth-based game in some missions, and in others you go in gun blazing like a first-person shooter. It was a pleasant surprise, and I had a lot of fun playing Chernobylite. At number 7, we have the classic Fallout 4. This was my first time playing Fallout 4 from start to finish. Great game all the way through. Fallout 4 is an open-world post-apocalyptic game that was released in 2015, and it's still a great playthrough all the way to this day. The story is well written, the scavenging and crafting is thoroughly detailed, the combat is fun, and the open world still looks great. It's a game that I recommend everybody play. In the 6th spot, we have God of War. This was my first God of War game I've ever played. I don't know how I've avoided the series for this long, but it was definitely not smart to do so. The story follows Kratos and his son Atreus as they take on a mission to fulfill Atreus' deceased mother's last request. The goal is to spread her ashes from the highest point in all of the 9 realms. Great game. Looking forward to playing more games in the series. I'll definitely be reviewing Ragnarok sometime soon. At number 5, we have the Resident Evil 2 remake. I've been playing Resident Evil games since the first one, and I love the original RE2. Resident Evil 2 features fan favorites in Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield as the main protagonists. The game is set in Raccoon City during the outbreak of a zombie apocalypse. Leon has been stationed here as a cop, and Claire is there looking for her brother Chris, who is also a cop. The game features all of the classic elements of a Resident Evil game and one of the best games in the series. Coming in at number 4, we have The Witcher 3. I know this might be a little controversial, but I enjoyed some really good games this past year. The Witcher 3 is amazing. Everybody knows this. This was another classic that I had never played before. The story is great, the combat is fun, and never seems to get too repetitive, and the world looks amazing. It's a fairly long game, but I enjoyed it to the end. I'm actually looking forward to playing more of the Witcher series. At number 3, we have Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is an open world action and adventure game that was released in 2020 and is a PlayStation exclusive. I enjoyed playing Ghost of Tsushima a lot. The game tells a great story as it follows Samurai Lord Jin Sakai. Your job is to free the people of Tsushima of Mongol rule. The biggest feature of the game is the swordsmanship. It's the most intricate that I've ever played in the game. Timing when to parry versus when to dodge versus when to attack is a skill that you have to learn with practice. This is the most realistic game where you play as a samurai that I've ever played. It's a great game that I definitely recommend. At the number 2 spot, we have 7 Days to Die. Man, I've been waiting on this game for so long. It's been torture as a console player, watching PC gamers get constant updates over the years and never having any movement on the console version. But I stuck through and it was worth the wait. This might be my favorite survival game of all time. I love 7 Days. The game takes place in a post-apocalyptic world in the fictional Naviskane County. To survive, you have to scavenge for resources and food, craft weapons, build bases, and fight zombies. Every 7 days, you'll get attacked by a giant herd, and your goal is to survive for as long as you can. If you haven't played 7 Days to Die, you definitely should. We finally made it to the end of the list, and the game that I've enjoyed the most in the past 12 months is Red Dead Redemption 2. This instantly became one of my favorite games of all time. I've always heard all the hype surrounding the game, and I completely understand it now. The game was released in 2018 and still looks amazing today. The game takes place in 1899 and follows the story of an outlaw named Arthur Morgan. Your goal is to help everybody in your gang survive and to try to find a place where y'all can settle down without the law on your back. It's so many great elements here. The story, hunting, the missions, the open world environment, and I could keep going on. This is simply a great game. If somehow you was out there and living like me and have never played this before, you should definitely pick it up. Well, that was the 10 games that I enjoyed most in the past year. Remember, if you want to learn more about any of the games on the list, I do have a review on the channel for each game that was on this list. Please leave a like and subscribe. Until next time, we're out. Peace.